This is the Southside School of Financial Freedom Market Report and Small Account Update for the week ending April 27th, 2024. The market finished higher this week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average increased 0.4% on Friday and was up 0.67% for the week. The S&P 500 increased 1.02% on Friday and was up 2.67% for the week. The Nasdaq increased 2.03% on Friday and was up 4.23% for the week. Looking at the week, we can see that there were 11 up finishes versus 4 down finishes for the major indexes. On Monday and Tuesday, all the major indexes finished up. On Wednesday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average finished down, while the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq finished up. On Thursday, all the major indexes finished down. And on Friday, all the major indexes finished up. How did you do? My small account finished 8.9% higher and generated cash flow of 2.24%. Even when the market falls and or my account doesn't do well, I still get income or cash flow by selling covered calls and naked puts. This method does not only guarantee cash flow or income, it can also beat the S&P 500. Now, I don't use charts. I don't use fundamental analysis. I don't use indicators or signals. And I definitely don't sit in front of a computer screen all day to watch the market. I simply choose a stock from my watch list to sell covered calls and or naked puts. I do have 5 criteria for choosing stocks to put on my trading watch list. I will not reveal what my criteria are, but if you examine my list, you may be able to figure out the criteria for yourself. The last row is my benchmark row. That is, I measure my performance against gold, silver, and the S&P 500. I choose the stock option based on whether I own the stock and or I would like to own the stock. I choose a strike price, an expiration date, a bid, and I submit a limit order. Then I wait for execution. If the sale does not execute, I may change my order or wait until the next day to submit a new order. Looking at my watch list from the week, the strongest performer on the list was Riot Platforms, ticker symbol RIOT in the first column. It was down minus 1.49% on Friday, but increased 30.67% for the week. Riot Platforms is an American-based Bitcoin mining company. The company operates through 3 segments. That is Bitcoin mining, data center hosting, and engineering. Riot Platforms also provides on-location services for large-scale institutional Bitcoin mining companies, critical infrastructure, and workforce institutional scale miners to deploy and operate their mines. The company designs and manufactures power distribution equipment and customizes engineered electrical products associated with Bitcoin mining. They provide installation services to their large-scale commercial and government customers who are involved in Bitcoin mining. Looking at a summary of results, you can see that Riot has decreased minus 22.88% year to date. I generated cash flow from Riot this week, and I generated cash flow from selling 6 different option contracts, and they were 6 calls that range from $5.34 to $32.34. So on Monday, I sold a call for $32.34. On Tuesday, I sold a call for $5.34. And on Friday, I sold 4 calls, one for $19.34, 2 for $7.34 each, and 1 for $5.34. That is a total of $77.04, which is not a lot of money, but the account is small, and $77.04 is cash flow of 2.24% of my account value. With this system, this money is free and clear. You can take it out of your account and spend it, or leave it in to build your cash balance and or invest it. If you want to increase the amount of cash flow, just use a larger account For example, to 10x the cash flow to $770.40, use a larger account balance and instead of selling one of everything that I sold, sell 10. This strategy is guaranteed to produce cash flow immediately and every week that it is applied. However, it does not guarantee the amount of cash flow from week to week, nor the value of your account. The amount varies and the account value varies. Despite the variations in amount and value, the goal is to generate cash flow and beat the S&P 500. And that is what I am openly showing you every week as it happens. Note, most professional money managers and their strategies do not consistently beat the S&P 500 every year. They usually lose, and they lose by a lot. Last year, this method beat the S&P 500 by almost 12%, but in 2024, my account is down minus 21.31% versus 6.93% up for SPY, which is an S&P 500 ETF. That's a difference of $28.24%. I am losing to the S&P 500 by just over 28%. It is not unusual to beat the S&P 500 one year and then lose to the index the next year. Will I befall the same fate as most professional money managers? It does look like it. I am trailing SPY by a lot, but I did gain this past week. So, is it time to throw in the towel? Stay tuned for next week to find out if I'm able to gain on the S&P 500 again. Bitcoin watch. Bitcoin lost minus 8.93% this past week and is still in a bull market. It is trading close to all-time highs. It is up almost just about 49% year to date. Some people believe Bitcoin is the most transformative financial asset in 1,000 years. I think the best course of action is to dollar cost average, that is DCA into the S&P 500 and DCA into Bitcoin at a 30 to 70 ratio for the next 10 years and or up to when you have invested at least $10,000. In fact, I may start such a strategy. What do you think? What is your strategy? Do you know how to produce cash flow every week and beat the S&P 500? Do you invest in Bitcoin, which again may prove to be the smartest investment of the decade? As you develop, analyze, and implement your strategy, please check back to see how my small account performs against the S&P 500 from week to week by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you.